electricity. We all deal with it. Every day, we use it. Especially if you're hearing it now, you are involved in with electricity, that's for sure. And I am Wealthy, and this is going to be a podcast about electricity and its issue in Cambodia. Also, I will be talking about how to save your money by saving electricity. So I have with me here Leslie Payne. He's also a student at Logos International School, which is also my classmate. And I'm going to be teaching him about electricity as I teach everyone who is listening to this podcast about electricity. And so, Leslie, I'm going to start out this conversation and this lesson by telling you that electricity is important. Do you agree or not?
Yes, I agree 100%. We need electricity to survive.
And I do, from my research, I know that it is true. So electricity is important. Can you take a guess at what type of stuff that are like that needs electricity? Electricity.
Everything basically.
Do you think that it affect people from like the provinces and stuff too?
It depends on whether it depends on the availability of electricity in provinces. For some, it may affect. For others, it may not.
Well, I can tell you something. You are partially correct. I believe that electricity is affecting a lot of people, even in the provinces, especially farmers nowadays, because, as you know, we are all developing and technology is developing. So, to be more efficient with their farming, they're using devices that requires a lot of electricity, such as a water pump. As if you go out and nowadays to see it, there's not, especially at this season, there's not as much rain, so they're very dependent on the water pumps to farm and help them grow their crops, which goes to the country's economy by a lot because as you know, GDP depends on the export and imports. That's one of the net exports, and Cambodia is dependent on crops, especially from farming. And so, did that surprise you at all, Leslie?
It actually sort of did because I didn't actually think that the equipment which farmers used needed a lot of electricity. So this really just kind of opened my eyes.
Yeah, it's so here is that's one thing, right? With the electricity, so not every place in Cambodia has access to a like high power electricity, like such as like Phnom Penh nowadays and Canal. But and that is an issue that is going on in Cambodia. But another big issue is the price of the electricity that are the tariffs. So as we all know, Cambodia struggled with poverty, and right now the the money that are like the salary, the wage is not as it doesn't give you as much as you expect, especially in electricity. So here's something that I can give you. So going on to the World Bank, we know that Cambodia in around 2013, the average consumption of electricity is 221 kilowatt per month. As we know, both of us, we spend a lot more than that, and that would be if the price is ranging from 600 real to 1,200 real, that would equate to around $30 to $70 per month, depending on how much the people use. That, take a guess how much like discomfort that takes out every month. You have to look into how much you're spending on electricity, and if you don't know how much much about how what your utilities are and like take, you might be spending a lot of money.
For me personally, I don't know. I'm sure that I'll spend over $100 on electricity a month, simply because I have my AC on like for 12 hours a day, and I need to power my devices such as my television, to charge my laptops, my speakers, to charge my phones and stuff. So I think that I spend a lot on electricity per month.
Wait. Did you just say like how much aircon do you use per day?
Roughly 12 hours.
Oh, no, that's a lot. That's a lot of electricity you just spent. Not only that you're just taking money out of yourself, but you're also taking money out of the government, in which a lot of our electricity right now is imported from our neighbors. I just advise you to use less electricity because it's just to help your family, man. And
But I need it. Like it's hot season. It's really hot.
that is somewhat agreeable, but you can still save electricity from it, Leslie.
That is true.
And Leslie, do you like water?
Water, yes, I do.
Do you like tap water?
To shower and do other things, yes.
No. Do you like hot water?
Oh yes, I love hot water.
And here we go with another one. Electricity is important for water, not just the hot water, not just the cold water, but all clean water that are imported and filtered through the main areas. And this is they need electricity to power all these waters going through the pipes and coming out of our taps, and especially hot water to make it hot. So just to tell you, Leslie, so far a lot of parts of your aspect of your life is dependent on water and electricity.
Mm-hmm.
And so, do you know that electricity also helps with hygiene?
Yes, it does.
Can you explain to me how?
Cause like for me personally, I don't like taking warm showers in the morning. I mean, cold showers in the morning.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
agree.
and if I don't take warm showers in the morning, I probably wouldn't shower because it's who would take a cold shower in the morning? So that I guess that contributes to my hygiene too. And like sometimes throughout the day when it gets really hot, I feel like taking a shower because I'm so sticky and humid. Sometimes if I don't use the water heater, the natural water is very warm. So then I actually have to use the water heater to cool the water down. And then once after showering, I feel much cleaner.
And so far, you're going on the right track again. Water is important for hygiene, but electricity is behind the water to keep the hygiene because, like, washing your hand might be very simple, but it helps you to like prevent disease, which will cost you a lot of more money than you're already just spending on electricity. And another thing is entertainment. Why, like, a lot of people, especially in Cambodia, love Facebook. My, you might not say you love it, but you're on it frequently. Am I correct?
To a certain extent, yes.
Yeah, like especially if you just look at like politically, there's a lot of people on Facebook expressing their opinion, which is cool, and it's getting more and more popular. And just as um, that means that the consumption of electricity from our phone is also getting higher because uh, apps like takes away a lot of battery. You know what I mean?
Yes, I
Yeah,
understand.
and especially when we love playing games nowadays. I mean, like Clash Royale.
Oh yeah.
Oh, beautiful stuff. I mean, but okay, going back to electricity. Let's not sidetrack here. uh, Phones, television, aircon, fans all require electricity, and this means our well-being is dependent on electricity. So this is my introduction to why we need electricity and what is the issue. So as I expected said before, the issue is that not all places in Cambodia have access to electricity, a stable one, and the amount of money that are being used on uh, electricity. So something that has to be touched upon is education, and education nowadays is like needs electricity to develop students and go into like for students to go into the future for future jobs, especially jobs are in need of computer skills, and a lot of these technical devices that are used daily in such as medical fields, like technology, chemistry, and stuff like that. So we are very privileged, me and Leslie, to be in an international school where a lot of stuff are provided for us, like such as in technology. But in public schools, there not as much stuff, and the government does not give everything for the people, especially in the rural parts of the country. But luckily, I've heard this news very recently from a relative of mine who is still learning in the public school, and he said that the schools are starting to teach computer, even though there aren't enough computer for all the students, but they're still getting some technological knowledge. So, Leslie, have you heard of this before?
No, I have not actually. This is my very first time.
Yeah, I was as surprised as you. I thought that there was no technological like learning, and this really surprised me. I thought, I mean, I'm very happy that this is happening because jobs need this skill. And there's one thing that we can tell was the problem of like education is the nuclear plant that they were thinking of doing making in Cambodia. Have you heard of that one, the one with Russia?
No, not really.
So basically, a Russian minister, came to Cambodia and discussed about the electrical issue in Cambodia, and they came up with the idea of making a a power plant that would help Cambodia in the future. But
Wow.
unfortunately, Cambodia don't have enough people in that profession to deal with this job. As you know, the nuclear power plants are very technical, and they need like great people with great safety measures, which that helps prevent like accidents from happening. We don't want Chernobyl or Fukushima to happen again, and
Oh,
that
of
would,
course not.
yeah, and we would need people who are very good in that profession to work at this job. uh,
Hmm.
so that's one thing that is happening. So do you know other renewable resources that can help Cambodia?
Mm, hydropower.
Exactly. Hydropower is being used in Cambodia and like other countries such as China and Vietnam. The only problem with the hydropower is that the dams that are created can cause ecosystem problems, such as stopping fish migrating path, and it can also causes flood. But as you know, fishermen in Cambodia in the lakes, they need the fish. They are dependent on those fish. That's one of their most income, and if we destroy take that away, that would cause such problems for them.
Mm, that's true.
And personally, I love fish, and I don't like hydropower unless it is somehow doesn't affect anything at all. But there's also the solar power, which you're seeing is very popular nowadays, but it's still expensive to install. So a lot of people in the provinces that are less fortunate do not get the chance to install one. And the wind, have you heard of the wind turbine?
Oh, yes, I have. Very familiar
Yeah,
with that.
very familiar.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, it's the only problem that it causes like it's space. That's one thing, but it can be used in Cambodia. So biofuel, uh, or bioenergy is something that could be installed in Cambodia too, because of all the farmers and all the crops that are being made each year. And uh, but the only problem with that is that it can run out. and it also produce a bit of pollution, be- like the way that we're burning those crops. And lastly, we're dealing with geothermal, something that is a bit unique. We're extracting energy from underground. It's like magma, but the bad thing about it is that it smells like rotten egg. That as oh horrible. So now we're gonna go to the place where I teach you about how much energy you're using and how to help prevent or lower down the amount of energy that you're using. One thing that I'm gonna be telling you, of course, is the most simple thing: turn off the lights after you leave. I mean, air cons should be turned off, fans should be turned off. Any of these things cost money, and with accumulation of all the light bulbs being used, you're using a lot of money. Try to
Mm.
install the cheaper ones. If you're trying to save money, trying to save energy, it's not only that you're helping yourself, you're also helping the country, you're helping other people receive enough energy. Uh
Oh, okay.
yeah. So like TVs. TVs, if you're in a situation where you don't have as much money, please do not buy the big fancy TVs. Just buy the ones that are smaller, and please take a bit of research behind them, because different like type of TV spend or takes in a different amount of electricity consumption, and
Oh, okay.
choose the best one, the most efficient for your day in your life. It is very important to look into how much electricity that you're using. I always stumble that word. I'm sorry. So, but these are just simple stuff that I can tell everyone. But what is important is to calculate your own footprint, how much electricity that you're using. Not only that, you can find things that save you, such as saving water and trying to not spend as much time on technology or social media that uses a lot of electricity. And I have two great websites where you can do or find information about this. And those two websites are in the descriptions or captions wherever you find this video, but most likely it is on YouTube. And but the first one is the energy.gov. That is like it just talks about all these things that you find in your household. And the other website is the footprint.stanford.edu. It helps you know your carbon footprint, your and it like environmental in general basically. And these two, I recommend you to look at this, because no matter what, it will help you. And I really hope that these information that I just told you helped you a lot through your life later on and your life right now. Thank you for listening and tuning in. This is Wolfie, and Leslie signing out.